Yo, 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 yo. Yo, yo, what's good with it? It's the homie Mac. Music, art, culture, knowledge, reporting live from the Dogon. You know what it is. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel 82 Kings. That watermark on the bottom right of your screen, if you're on your laptop, click on that, subscribe so you can get this magnificent content, man. Yeah, so right now, I want to talk about, for this session of Mac Minutes, American politics is gangbanging. I'm a Georgia resident. I live in Atlanta, Southwest Atlanta to be exact. Right now, it's election time. You got Herschel Walker and Herschel Walker running for the Republican Party for a seat in Congress. Raphael Warnock running for a seat in Congress for the Democratic Party. So that's been one of the things that's really been highlighted. And they have been dragging each other, man. I keep getting text messages from Herschel Walker's campaign. Oh, don't vote for Warnock. Liberal left agenda. Don't vote for Herschel Walker. He's retarded. Excuse my language. I know that's not politically correct, but his mental health and his ability to process information and think critically and analytically has constantly been brought into question. Then you got Stacey Abrams and Brian Kemp running for governor seats. And it just, our nation seems so divided on so many layers, just from race issues to sexual identity to socioeconomic standing. Everything is so divisive, and then you have these culture wars that compound everything and make it reverberate, American politics reverberate in a very counterproductive way. At this point, what is an American? What is a red-blooded American? What do Americans want? What is ultimately of the highest benefit to all people? At this point, I don't know. Me being an African American ADOS, I do think that there are things that have had a residual effect, negative impact on black communities, and these problems still persist. And I feel like when I try to speak on these things and say, hey, wait a minute, what about us? The response from the Democratic Party has always been, well, we'll get to you. Just wait. We're coming. And then Republican Party, I already know what they're about. It's everything's about money with them. But I do respect the fact, one of the things I do respect about the Republican Party is that they are big on self-determination, you owning yourself, you having your own. My issue with the Republican Party is that there are a lot of racist leanings that they have. I don't know a better way to put it. I think a lot of them are hella racist. But at the same time, a lot of black people, we are conservative. If you really look, upon the Freedmen's Bureau, us gaining our right to vote, we voted Republican. Interesting, but we still have a lot of, black people are very conservative in general. I know a lot of black people that voted for Trump. I know I have encountered black people who don't want to vote for Stacey Abrams because she is a single woman. I've also heard people bring her sexual orientation into question, assuming that she's lesbian. They're assuming that she's lesbian, and they don't want to vote for her off the strength of that. I think that's very shallow, irrespective of who you sleep with, how you live your life. If you're gonna do right by me while you're in your seat, it's all good with me. Whoever you sleep with, that's your business. And I'm not. How do I say this? It's just, you see what happened to Nancy Pelosi. I guess they broke into her house. Some dude took a hammer, put it to her husband's head. You look at January 6th, these people, you had some thugs masquerading as patriots, attacking the Capitol building and trying to I guess usurp the voter bot, I forgot what you call it, the thing that they tally the votes in. that seemed like that whole scene in January on January 6th seemed like it was out of that white supremacist book, the Turner Diaries. It seemed like it was a scene off the Turner Diaries. It's like we witnessed the Turner Diaries in real time. And it's real tricky when I talk to a lot of conservatives, a lot of people in the Republican Party. They, specifically Southern Republicans, I'm sorry. Their narrative is, a lot of it is centered around replacement theory, that white Americans are essentially being phased out of society, which I think is bogus when we live in a white male hegemonic patriarchal society. White men are at the top. White women, by proxy, benefit from that. As much as they want to push this down with the patriarchy crap, white women are benefactors of white male hegemonic patriarchy. I don't care what they say they are. And what am I saying? I guess essentially, everybody feels like their piece of the pie is being taken away from them. Wealthy white people feel like that. A lot of black people feel marginalized. A lot of gay people feel marginalized. A lot of immigrants feel marginalized. And I guess my thing is, what is of the highest good? I'm not necessarily, I was not a Trump fan, but I did respect the narrative of America first. America first, bringing jobs here, factories, warehouses, things that economically have a powerful upswing residual impact on America economically. We give billions to the state of Israel every year. And I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm just saying we give a lot of money to Israel. We're giving a lot of money to Ukraine. It's like, what about the American people? We're in the midst of an inflation right now. Price of everything is going up. You have a lot of people struggling. And even in the midst of that, you have guys like Brett Favre taking food and money out of the mouths and pockets of poor people. That money that was set aside for them. But I'm only bringing that up just to say how our infrastructure, as far as policy and the powers that be, there's a lot of cronyism. There's a lot of good boy systems going on, and it's running our society ragged. But it's like Dr. King said, you have, what did he say? You have socialism for the rich and rugged capitalism for the poor. I think at its core, this is all an economic issue that's going on. I mean, at its core, I would say at the forefront, economics is the issue. But even that is nuanced and layered, because then you have to talk about race. Then you have to talk about, why are certain people constantly losing? What is up with the policies that we are creating? I don't look at poverty necessarily as an individual failure. I think a lot of people do. But I look at poverty as an institutional failure. As black people, as ADOS, I want to say, as a black person, ADOS specifically, I want to say, I want to bring up what Malcolm X said. He said, if you keep losing, there's something that's being done to you. There's some advantage that the people that keep beating you have. You have to figure out what that is and go forward. I think, the black dollar is very powerful, but we don't necessarily have our own institutions that we pour into. We don't have, for example, I think we need Alpha Kappa Alpha gas stations. We need Omega Psi Phi grocery stores. We need Kappa Alpha Psi, what have you, just institutions, places where we can go, spend our money, and that money circulates back to our community to fulfill our needs, whatever they may be. Because this country has definitely shown us that they could give a fuck about solving problems for black Americans, or just black people in general, irrespective of where you're from in the diaspora, or even poor people. They don't care. And I want to bring it back to Dr. Amos Wilson. Dr. Amos Wilson said, any problem that persists in this country, you have to figure out who is benefiting from it. As long as there's a benefactor, they will allow the problem to persist, because that is pushing their agenda and their economic standing forward, i.e. prison industrial complex, school to prison pipeline. this country is capitalist in nature, and I will argue this till my dying day. Capitalism needs a subservient class. Capitalism cannot work unless you have an impoverished and criminalized group of people. And if they cannot find one, they will make one. And I would say since the inception of this country, black people have been the bottom bearers, specifically ADOS, and then as other people from the diaspora have come in, we're all black, but we still have been the burden bearers. I don't care how you feel about that. That's just facts, man. There needs to be, someone has to get screwed for this thing to work. It functions from out of its dysfunction, if that makes sense. Like, someone has to lose. Capitalism is about winners and losers. But yeah, also, like, back to, I kind of drifted, but yeah, American politics is gangbanging. Democrats, Republicans, what Kendrick say, Democrats and Republicans. It's gangbanging. It's either you on my side or this side. There's always this otherizing that goes on. Democrats bad, Republicans bad, Democrats good, Republicans good. It's like there's always an if-then. There's always a versus. I don't want to say if-then. There's always a versus. You know, we're the good guys, they're the bad guys. And I'm at the point now, like, I've been getting text messages from Stacey Abrams' campaign, from Kemp's campaign, from Herschel Walker's, from Warnock's. I don't know who's telling me the truth. I don't know who's telling me the truth. I feel like a child in the midst of a nasty custody battle between Republicans and Democrats. Like a child that's in the midst of a nasty custody battle with their parents. That's how I feel with the Democratic and Republican Party. I remember W.B. Du Bois said that, black people will never be saved by the Democrats. I guess the thing, I'm at a space now where I guess I would define myself as independent. I was raised Democrat. I was taught vote blue no matter who. But what has that gotten us? And the thing that I hate and that pisses me off, for me to say this, I'm trying to siphon votes away from the Democratic Party and I'm trying to get Trump back in office. No, I'm trying to get something for my people. We need tangible policy. Ultimately, reparations. I'm going to push for that till I have no more breath in my body. If I don't live to see it, I want to see. There are things that my grandparents, my ancestors, sacrifices they made that they never saw the end of. They didn't see the fruits of their labor. But I'm willing to lay tracks for future generations that I may never live to see. It's like they say, planting a tree. You do it for the people in the future. But yeah, that's just where I'm at, man. It's like, one other thing that messes it up is there's a lot of disinformation, a lot of conspiracy theories, and I really don't think the average voter is really informed. Between media propaganda, left-wing media, right-wing media, who's really telling us the truth? Who's really telling us the truth? It's just, protagonists and antagonists that goes on between Democrats and Republicans. And even, what was it? Maybe 5 or 6 years ago, there was some politicians, I guess, playing a softball game, and they had some of their sympathizers and their people in their campaigns that were there playing softball. And a guy walked up and was like, "You guys Democrats or Republicans?" And they were like, "We're Democrats." And he started shooting. I think he killed a couple people. But yeah, this stuff is gangbanging. It's just, how do we... I'm just trying to figure out how do we create an atmosphere, an ecosystem that's for equity and balance. But it just seems like at the end of the day, all these politicians do is have a word salad. They make money. They make a lot of promises. But it's all about ultimately who's funding them. And from what I see, I remember being in San Francisco. I met an Asian man who was telling me, "Oh, I'm not really worried about voting. We police our own communities. We have our own places to go. They do our bidding because they know how we spend our money, and they'll get behind us because we fund the politicians that we want." And I thought about that. I was like, well, damn, that makes sense. So I'm thinking us as black people, we're going to have to get to the point where we choose who we want to do our bidding and give these people an economic incentive to serve us. Because this is about big business. This is about money. At the end of the day, this is about money. All these politicians are bought and paid for. But yeah, I think Friedrich Nietzsche has a quote where he pretty much talks about how politicians turn people into pawns and enemies. And that's how I see American politics. But let me, I guess, get off my soapbox, but this is just how I feel. I don't know where we're headed as a nation. What is an American? What does an American want? What are we pushing forward? Where do we go from here? What is the narrative? But it's the homie Mac, music art, culture, knowledge, signing out from the Dogon. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Thumbs up, give me the likes. Hopefully we can get this together. I don't know how old humanity is, but we should be old enough to know better, man, and do right by each other. But greed is a mofo. I'm out, signing out from the Dogon. Thumbs up, give me the likes.